Hi, it's Pat again. Thinking through this, I do time with mind and emotions also. I had some lunch. The sonar is so strong it incapacitates me. So what moves forward moves backwards, and I don't move forward enough on that to suit me. The food is good. We're doing all of that good. The major point is different place and time, dark place at a point in time. No other male is going to take his place unless he were to deny me. And I really do not want to lose that male currently at all. No other male has made me happy. I was despondent after that. And I'm going to tell you, I don't want to hear any more about a Peter Pryor mentioned to me now in the present. That should have been done way back then. And I don't understand the whole thing then. At that point in time, that might have taken place. But I don't know I have an idea what was kicked back from here. That should have taken place at that point in time, and it did not. And what went on then otherwise was not acceptable to me at all. We have that background. You are telling me that you're not connected with that Casey and all of that. There comes a time when one can analyze round in circles. One has to have the truth. One has to have the actuality. And I'm 74, going to be 75 in January. And haste in this case does not mean waste. So we move in a direction of consummating this moving forward. I was stuck in pounding me to Peter Pryor when I was trying to move forward in my life. Now a breakdown happens, and I'm not angry about that subject matter at all. We are, according to you, moving forward out of anything on that. In Naples, I would have dealt with Robert Savidoff and addressed that. I am dealing with you in the present. You've guaranteed me you're a straight. And right now, I can deal with you because you're a wife of a husband that you're loving, and that's where we're at. And any inferences that I can be made about it is the only time I was ever that calm, temperature-wise, that cool. That is what I should be all of the time, was sitting in there in that office with him. I don't know whether he'd use that again. I don't know anything about it. White pages, I won't do anything about having a subscription to that at all. I negate that. I operate with you on that subject matter, and he must operate in clearing, I don't know how to put this analogously, the debris around him. Whatever it takes, he has to clear that himself, and I'm sure he knows that. That was the only time since my father was alive, totally, that I've been able to feel that. And my father, I was upset. I'm telling you, we don't deal with snakes. I was a child psyching that out by age 7, at least, about the snakes in the garden, and sleuthing it up that street as to where they were coming from, even to the little swampy area near a park where some trees were. They were not in that old lady's yard. She was a good old soul. She lived alone at the end. We used to go Halloween. Go out there Halloween in those days. It was safer. She was a nice old lady. She always gave some nice little treat. And I always was respectful to older people because I was raised that way. And I'm going to tell you, there was no snakes in her backyard. And I'm telling you, we walked down to the park. It was a clear park. But nothing there was open. And I'm going to tell you, by 7, I was upset by that. And the next door neighbors bothered me. I don't know whether Dad knew any of this. We used to peek through the trees. they'd have a party there, and I wouldn't go past the house. One time I made myself try to walk past their sidewalk. There was something terrifying in that house to me. I had rose fever. They had beautiful roses. I loved the smell of them, but I treaded quietly around it. I don't know how much of that exists still. Not totally. I love the smell of roses. Carnations are my favorite. The smell and all. Honeysuckle, lilacs. Lilacs I was allergic to, and honeysuckle I loved. So anyway, they're all around our yard. And the birds were up a major. I knew my father would handle the situation if he had a fight to death. He died young, 57, 58. To me, that was young. Mom was 30-odd years without him. I think, no, married 32 years and lived on to 91 with me, learn about the children. And I'm going to tell you that is the only time I've had peace at all. In the corporate, there was those family men, and they were good family men. Some had been divorced, some had not been. That there was some peace from good men. They were supportive of, in terms of my thinking and philosophies. I know they knew more than I did at higher levels. I knew they'd been places in that company. One I did hear about, Lily Atwater in the tax department. I knew there was the tail end more of their careers of that point in time when I entered then. Now, I'm talking about what we're talking about, the present, and I want to be within the present. I must know the past. You deal with both. That has to be understood that there was something wrong by then, at that point, that I felt. I know what you said. There's no criticism at all. There's nothing at all. That is something we would discuss. Or you would give me information on it according to what he wishes, or he handles it alone with me. The peace must be that way. That is the only time that my temperature dropped anyway, and there was an inner peace. I knew it was right, but you can't produce that. I mean, you can't force that. We are apparently at a better point in time. And I don't know what that mind represented, who we represented, technically at all. And as I told you, it's not often. And I'm not sure about that period, but that is what he said. I was Austrian, Polish, Yiddish, Jew, and you have said it out loud. And it's very important that I embrace that part of my heritage. It is betrayal to the dead unless I do. As far as the cats, I know you love them, and I don't want to take that love away from you, and I would not do that. Told you I got along with that Misty. That cat wouldn't leave my lap. Phil didn't cut those nails. I'm telling you, I had scars in my legs. She didn't want to get off my lap at night. Anyway, she was a pretty cat also. Now, he built a high pole, and he built a birdhouse on the top of that, and he loved the birds. He always did. My mother did also, especially after his death. It had meaning to her that it was my father manifesting himself to her. At the single-family attached dwelling, we had birds that were beautiful out the back there, and I've had them in the front tree. And it is part of my country here, looking at that tree and watching even the squirrels take the berries out of it. But he had it very high because they used to try to climb the pole and eat the birds. That is what was negative in that neighborhood. And I kept finding snakes in his garden, running backwards to the house and saying that Dad found them occasionally. but I'm the one who always found them. And man, you don't want to deal with a tank full of snakes. With Bill Finley, he laughs looking at it. No furniture in that front room. Honestly, two wives can fight it out on that one. A tank full of snakes, big, black, thick things. For the life of me, I couldn't figure out why they'd be in there. I said, thank you very much. Cobalt or whatever it was called then. Not my field. And thank you. Nice meeting you. And I don't remember how I drove out of there and how I got where I got. In Connecticut, half the time I don't know how I got where I got. But anyway, that is serious stuff when you're plagued by that. Thank you on our discussion of snakes. Remind me to come with you if you have to do that with me. I did better. This has been that way in which I have to intermittently come and listen to you. I find what you have to say very interesting. You are right. Spiders are no good. And man, there's no way. New Mexico, they were so big and furry. There they were in the closet that had a nail the closet.